The African Deep Dive podcast is brought to you by the African Technology Policy Studies Network. This podcast explores how science, technology, and innovation can drive sustainable development and global inclusion in Africa.
We're facing some really huge global challenges, aren't we? I mean, how do we feed everyone when climate change is just relentlessly hitting agriculture? It can feel pretty overwhelming. But today we're taking a deep dive into something that offers, well, genuine hope. We're looking at how artificial intelligence AI is rapidly changing farming, especially in sub-Saharan Africa. It's tackling these critical issues like climate vulnerability, scarce resources, food shortages, tackling them head-on. Our guide today is a really key paper looking at the Artificial Intelligence for Agriculture and Food Systems Innovation Research Network, AI4AFS for short. And our mission really is to unpack how responsible and gender-inclusive AI isn't just jargon. It's a practical tool making a real difference in farmers' lives right now. By the end of this, you'll have a clear picture of the practical uses, the ethical side, and the incredible opportunities for sustainable farming everywhere. So let's unpack this. Why is AI so critical for African agriculture right now? What's the urgency?
Well, what's really fascinating is this kind of perfect storm of challenges coming together. Sub-Saharan Africa is just acutely vulnerable to climate change. We're talking intense droughts, rainfall all over the place, extreme weather. It's hitting hard, and our sources point out something stark. A 3°C warmer climate. That can mean a huge food deficit. It could affect maybe over half the population by 2050. That's over 1 billion people.
Wow.
And it's not only climate. Rising fossil fuel prices, they're pushing the shift to biofuels. So now you've got land pressure fuel crops competing with food crops. It's
a staggering picture. Climate change, energy demands, food production all squeezed together. It feels almost insurmountable. So how can AI, something we often think of in Silicon Valley, realistically help here?
That's the crucial question, isn't it? How do we get that, up to 70% increase in farm production needed by 2050 with all these constraints? The sources show AI offers this leapfrog opportunity, a way to jump ahead. And it's already showing real promise. Things like better accuracy in predicting fruit yields, using deep neural networks of these AI systems good at spotting patterns, or predictive maintenance for farm machinery, keeping food processing going without breakdowns. It's about bringing in efficiency, foresight, things that weren't possible before.
A leapfrog opportunity.
Yeah.
I like that. And it sounds like this AI4AFS network is trying to map out how to make that happen. What are its actual goals? What are they aiming for on the ground?
Exactly. The AI4AFS network, it's part of the bigger AI4D Africa program, and it's dedicated to this future where Africans use AI for, healthier, happier, greener lives. Their goals are pretty concrete. Deliver at least one AI solution per country where they have projects, engage at least 100 farmers per project, and show demonstrably a minimum 20% improvement in yield or maybe disease detection. It's all about responsible development, scaling up homegrown AI solutions tailored to local needs.
Okay, so often when we talk AI, it's just about the tech, the algorithms, but you keep mentioning, and the sources emphasize, responsible and gender-inclusive AI. Why is that distinction so vital here?
Well, if you connect it to the bigger picture, it's absolutely critical. It's about making sure these powerful tools don't accidentally make existing inequalities worse. Agriculture and SSA, it's huge, employs so many people. But there are big disparities, especially around gender, access to resources, information, decision-making power. So responsible AI means building these things ethically, thinking about the local context, what communities actually need. The AI4AFS network specifically prioritizes equity, fairness, ethics, gender equality. They even bring in small, medium enterprises, SMEs, into the development. That helps with adoption, making sure the solutions are viable, accessible for everyone.
So it's not just about cool tech. It's about tech that serves everyone, especially those often left behind. The network funded projects in 8 countries: Ghana, Kenya, Malawi, Nigeria, Senegal, Tanzania, Uganda. Let's really dig into some examples, see how this works in the real world. Okay, let's kick off with Kenya. Tomatoes, apparently a huge crop, 14% of vegetable production. But pests, this Tuta absoluta, the leaf miner, and whiteflies can cause just devastating losses, sometimes 80, even 100%. What was the AI fix?
Right, so the team developed PMOST. That stands for Pest Monitoring and Surveillance of Tomato Tool. It's a spatial AI system. It uses satellite images, compares them with historical data. It looks for significant temperature changes that indicate pests might be showing up. Then, crucially, it sends real-time alerts straight to farmers' smartphones so they can act before it gets out of hand.
Real-time alerts.
Yeah.
That could be a game changer. But how did they make sure this wasn't just for, the few farmers with smartphones?
Yeah.
How was the gender inclusivity built in?
They were really deliberate about it right from the start. The core team, equal men and women, and the lead researcher, the principal investigator, was a woman.
Okay.
They did a baseline survey. 95% of farmers flagged tuta absoluta as a major issue, so they knew they were tackling a real felt need. And they made sure the survey team, the enumerators, and the farmers they worked with, the beneficiaries, were diverse. About 40% female enumerators, 36% female beneficiaries, trying to get those different perspectives in.
But a system using satellites, smartphones. You'd expect hurdles in rural tenure, right? What challenges popped up?
Oh, absolutely. Big ones. Accessing good quality satellite data wasn't always easy. Internet service in rural areas, often poor or non-existent. And the reality is many rural women don't own smartphones, or if they do, maybe don't have the digital literacy to use the app effectively. Those are significant barriers.
So what were the takeaways, the lessons learned from hitting those walls?
Key lessons really underline the importance of, teamwork, collaboration, really planning things out early, and deep, continuous engagement with the farmers themselves. Stakeholder engagement. Interestingly, adoption actually went up when the AI tool wasn't presented alone. It worked better alongside other methods.
Like what?
Like water traps and pheromones, these biological controls for tuta. It seems AI often works best as part of a package, fitting into existing practices, not just this magic text solution dropped from above.
That's a really powerful lesson. An integrated approach. Okay, let's shift over to Ghana. Different crops, maize, cassava, tomatoes, cashews, but similar problems, right? Constant battles with pests and diseases. How did AI help there, especially thinking about things like literacy?
Yeah, in Ghana, the team developed a deep learning mobile and web app. It's designed to spot pests and diseases in those specific crops efficiently. A farmer can just, scan a plant with their phone camera. The app gives instant recognition. It even tells them how certain it is.
Oh, that's useful.
Very. And if the certainty is low, it flags it. Hey, maybe get an expert opinion. It's a kind of human-in-the-loop approach. Builds trust, ensures accuracy when livelihoods are on the line.
That sounds incredibly practical.
Yeah.
But the literacy issue and making sure everyone felt included, how'd they handle that?
This is a great example of inclusive design. Knowing illiteracy rates are high, they made the app super user-friendly, and it has a text-to-voice feature. Yeah, it speaks the results and recommendations in English, but also Twi and Akan, local languages. That also helps visually impaired users. And for social inclusion, they set up a specific gender and diversity subcommittee. They made sure women and people with disabilities were involved. They even set up e-kiosks managed by women and disabled people. And farmers were involved right from the start, even getting trained on local control methods, like using neem tree leaves alongside the app.
That's incredibly thoughtful design. What about performance? Did it work well? And did they face similar challenges like connectivity?
User feedback was pretty strong, about 85% accuracy reported, and a 15% reduction in crop loss. And here's a critical design choice. The mobile app doesn't need internet to do the detection.
Oh, wow. Offline detection.
Exactly, directly tackling that low internet penetration issue. But yeah, challenges remain. Some farmers were resistant, maybe due to bad past experiences with researchers. Getting enough good Afrocentric data to train the AI models, that's expensive and hard to find. And even the environmental cost, the carbon footprint of training these big AI models on cloud platforms, that came up too.
Right, data scarcity and infrastructure are recurring themes. Okay, final case study. Nigeria. Nusuka, yellow pepper, NYP, sounds like a valuable crop. But farmers, especially women, face issues from soil health to market access. What was the AI approach here?
This one was really multifaceted. They delivered three main things. First, an AI disease detection system for the pepper plants. But instead of just an app, they deployed it on a Raspberry Pi 4.
A tiny computer.
Yeah, a little credit card-sized computer. Does the analysis right there on the farm in real time. No internet needed for that part. Second, an IoT system, Internet of Things. Connected sensors monitoring soil nutrients, linked to a smart irrigation system activated by text message, optimizing water and fertilizer. And third, the AP-WEN Farm app, an e-extension app giving advice on growing, market prices, weather forecasts, a whole package.
That sounds incredibly comprehensive, tackling production, resources, and information. What was the impact?
Pretty significant results. They saw about a 50% marginal increase in the area farmers cultivated, a 30% drop in pest issues, and a 40% improvement in water use efficiency. And beyond the tech, something really interesting happened. A cooperative society called Noani Buhe, it means woman is valuable, formed because of this co-creation process, empowering women farmers through collective action.
Wow, woman is valuable. That's a powerful outcome itself. How do they specifically ensure gender equality and inclusion were central to this project?
Well, the team itself was balanced. 4 women, 4 men. And women were in lead roles, PI and co-PI. They engaged everyone, women, men, youth, people with disabilities right from the start, understanding their different needs. They prioritized collecting gender disaggregated data, seeing how things affected men and women differently. The app used gender-inclusive symbols. And the on-site training was designed for open dialogue. Everyone could speak up, offer suggestions, adapt the tech to their way of farming.
And the lessons learned from Nigeria. Are we seeing those patterns solidify now?
We really are. Similar challenges, again, low internet infrastructure, limited smartphone access in rural spots. And the key lessons just keep coming back. Engage local communities deeply, all the way through. Get good quality, relevant data to avoid bias. And keep investing in capacity building, knowledge sharing. It's a consistent message.
So, stepping back, looking at the bigger picture, these studies really highlight this incredible potential, but also these persistent recurring challenges across different places.
Exactly. Which brings up the critical question, how do we scale these successes? How do we make sure responsible AI really takes root and benefits everyone? The network pinpointed several key areas needing urgent focus. Probably the biggest hurdle is data availability and quality. Just limited access to structured data, often poor quality, and not enough data that's truly relevant to the local context.
Right, the data problem again. So how do you tackle that? What are the opportunities?
Well, the network found some promising paths. One is really leaning into community-driven data collection. Get locals involved in gathering and labeling data. Imagine combining that with traditional indigenous knowledge. That could be incredibly powerful. They also pushed for open data initiatives. AI4AFS even set up its own data repository, ensuring data quality, standardizing formats, and fostering public-private partnerships for data sharing are key, and you don't always have to start from scratch. Using existing open source data sets, but customizing them with local data, that can really boost AI models without massive data collection efforts.
Makes sense. You need good fuel for the AI engine. What about the physical stuff, the infrastructure?
That's the next big one. Infrastructure constraints and technology adoption barriers. Poor internet, not enough computing power locally, getting the right hardware out there, the opportunities. Developing more clever offline or low bandwidth solutions like that Ghana app, using hybrid cloud and edge computing, bringing processing power closer to the farm.
Edge computing, right.
Exactly. Plus, targeted training for the farmers, the end users, and again, public-private partnerships for building out that basic digital infrastructure.
Okay, so you've got data, you've got infrastructure, but you need people to actually use it, trust it, feel it's theirs.
Which leads straight to the third point, engaging local communities and ensuring inclusive participation. The opportunities here are about how you develop the tech. Participatory design workshops, focus groups where farmers have a real voice, engaging trusted community leaders, making interfaces truly user-friendly with local languages, local content, and making absolutely sure marginalized groups, women, youth, people with disabilities, are not just consulted, but actively participating.
And the ethics, building that trust, making sure AI helps, not harms.
Vital. That's integrating ethical principles into AI governance frameworks. This isn't just theory, it means practical steps. Developing AI ethics guidelines tailored to local values and contexts, doing proper ethical risk assessments before deploying anything, setting up governance committees, maybe like the health sector does for clinical AI to oversee things, and just being transparent and accountable in how AI makes decisions.
Got it. And finally, that thread running through everything, gender. How do we actively use AI to close gaps?
Yes. The fifth area is squarely on promoting gender equality and addressing gender disparities. This means doing gender-sensitive needs assessments right at the start, ensuring women are equally represented and participating in everything, developing AI solutions and interfaces that are genuinely gender-responsive, and providing specific, targeted training and capacity building for women farmers and entrepreneurs, helping them leverage these tools.
This has been incredibly insightful, seeing the practical side, the challenges, the solutions. Looking ahead then, what are the big takeaways, the key recommendations for policymakers, for the global community to build on this?
Connecting it all up, the study gives pretty clear policy directions for creating this inclusive tech ecosystem. Policymakers really need to develop national and regional AI strategies specifically for agriculture. Establish clear rules for AI governance, data protection. Invest seriously in digital infrastructure, that backbone is essential. And actively promote those public-private partnerships, multi-stakeholder collaborations, pool resources, share expertise.
And beyond policy, you need people who can build this, use this, maintain this, capacity building.
Absolutely critical. Capacity building. That means things like setting up AI research hubs in agricultural universities, developing training programs tailored for everyone involved, farmers, developers, extension workers, building knowledge exchange networks so people can learn from each other, using digital platforms, e-learning to spread knowledge widely. It's about building skills at every level.
All this infrastructure, training, research, costs money. How do we fund it sustainably?
That's the funding models piece. We need to think creatively here. Explore more public-private partnerships, co-investment models, look at crowdfunding, impact investment, pursue collaborative grants with international organizations, engage actively with development banks, donors. It's about diversifying how these vital projects get funded. And finally, maybe most importantly, to ensure these solutions stick and make a real difference. Promoting responsible AI adoption. That means never losing focus on community engagement, co-creation. Always developing solutions that are context-specific, culturally appropriate. Implementing robust monitoring and evaluation, are these things actually working? And fostering collaboration across sectors, sharing what works and what doesn't.
The AI4AFS case studies really do show, quite vividly, that this responsible AI innovation isn't just a nice idea. It holds substantial promise for improving productivity, resilience, sustainability in African agriculture. It's real.
It really is. These AI tools have proven effective, increasing yield, cutting losses. Remember Nigeria, women farmers expanding their land from 1-2 hectares up to 4-5. That's huge. And farmers across Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya reporting using maybe 25% less water, less fertilizer, because the AI helps them optimize. And these community-based participatory models, that seems to be the secret ingredient. They boost adoption, build inclusion, integrate local knowledge, and really support marginalized groups, especially women.
So what does this all mean for us, the listeners, as we think about the future of food, technology, global development? What's the takeaway? Well, maybe it's this. The profound impact of these seemingly small localized AI projects in Africa could genuinely reshape global food systems, not just for the continent, but for all of us grappling with feeding a growing world on a changing planet. So think about it. How could these principles, responsible, inclusive AI, tailored to local needs, built on community trust, designed for equity, how could they apply where you are? In your community, your industry, something to mull over. Thank you so much for joining us today for this deep dive. We'll meet you again for another exciting exploration next week.
Thank you for listening. Join us every Thursday for more insightful conversations.